Welcome back to the bench. I mean the ceiling. Houston, we have a problem here. This is an LED light. I don't know if the camera shows it, but this area is kind of dim. Probably some of the LEDs have gone out in that area. Let's see what's going on. Now look at that. Two strips have gone out. Piece of junk these lights are. Well, I'll take it down and see what I can do about it. Okay, pulled the fixture off the ceiling here. I got the camera on a tripod because my desktop tripod is just too close for it to be any good. Hopefully this year is the year I get a arm for my camera so I can mount it on the end of the arm and have it float above the bench. But anyway, one thing I noticed with this thing, just how hot it operates. It's starting to discolor. This white paint's kind of turning yellowish. But yeah, it's always been a big bugaboo of mine. If you have a product and it's going to run hot, it's just not going to last that long. Electronics, inside this is a bunch of electronics and capacitors and chips and things. It's just not going to last that long. When you buy a fixture to put it up, you expect the thing to last 15-20 years. Not something you have to pull down after a couple years. This has the date of 2015, so it's not new, but yeah, I expect something to last longer than this did. But anyhow, it's on the bench. Plug it into the Variac, and I'm also using a bulb limiter. I have the alligator clips on the bulb limiter lead, so it makes it convenient to hook it up. So I'll turn it on there, and so it's these two strips that are out. You can turn that down. Well, it starts flickering when I turn it down too low. So, well, I know these are the ones out, so I can put the meter on it and find which LED is bad. Okay, so what I'll do is put the meter in diode mode and check each LED. These are marked positive on one end. Not getting any result. One neat thing with this meter, it has a 15-volt mode, which is great for testing LEDs because a lot of times they have more than one die in these packages. And normally for a white LED, which is based on a blue LED, indium gallium nitride, which has a 3-volt forward voltage drop. So when they put more than one in there, you'll have to have a higher voltage to test with. You can also use like a 9-volt battery and a resistor, but it's very convenient having this meter, which has the 15-volt mode. And there you go. Hopefully I'm not blocking the shot. That LED's good. 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 Huh, all these are good. There's nothing wrong with any of those. I wonder if, well, let me see here before I come to any conclusions. Good. 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 Shorted? It can't be shorted. Now this is saying shorted. That can't be because current would flow through. Maybe I'm getting the screw in the way here, and It might be grounded or something. One moment, please. Okay, so I removed that screw, and the best I can get is open. I think I was just shorting on that screw or something. Maybe it's grounding out or something like that. Hopefully I'm getting this on the camera without blocking it. That's where an overhead camera mount would be really handy. Yeah, so this diode here is open. Perhaps a bond wire failure. So what they're doing is they're putting two boards in series. So these two boards, these two, and these two are all in series. Each LED has two die, so 6 volts. So that would be 8 times 6 is 48. They do say 48 volts here on the driver. So the next thing to do is take a wire and bypass that LED and see if these strips come on. But I want to turn the current down because, you know, I might damage the LEDs by giving them a jolt of current. So I'll turn this down. It's probably going to flicker. Yeah, disco light going on there. So let's see what happens here. Being mindful that this is on live electricity here. Mains, I should say. Yep. So this LED is open, probably a bond wire failure. I wonder if I can replace that. Let's turn our disco light off first. Okay, so I went through all of my LEDs. I usually don't throw things away, and I found this board. This came out of an LED bulb that somebody sent to me. I made a video about it. Well, it's one of those LEDs with a light sensor. The driver and the LEDs were fine, but the light sensor part died and rendered the bulb useless. So it's one of my LED bulb teardowns. But anyhow, as it turns out, these chips have two die inside, so they're 6 volt, just like these. So if I take the meter here and check one of these, I get about 5.2 volts. So at low current, which the meter puts out, the forward voltage will be a bit lower. So if I check one of these, it's hard to get a meter on these easily. Oh, there we go. 5 volts, same voltage. The only problem is these are like 5,000 Kelvin, these are 4,100 or 4,000 Kelvin. But that's okay, just one LED is not really going to make much of a difference. The next thing is, how am I going to get it off this board? Really, you just have to heat this up, melt the solder, and the same thing here. Heat it up, melt the solder, and then just exchange it. Hopefully the pads on the bottom match up so I can put the LED onto the fixture here.
Well, looky there. There's my little doobly-doo. Isaac! Isaac!
Okay, so what I did is I used my heat gun, clamped that there on the table. I don't have helping hands. I really should buy those things. But I used the heat gun applied to the back and just pushed off. Yeah, I used a pencil. Probably not the best thing, but I used a pencil and pushed off the little LEDs there. Did the same with this board after removing it from the fixture. So now the trick is to get this soldered onto here, so I'll apply fresh solder to both sides and just set it on there and heat it up. Hopefully it'll take. Well, we'll see how that works out. Okay, I got the LED installed. Let's see what happens here. I have my power supply set on current limit, 21 volts. And it works. So you can see it on there. It's not flat on there, but as best as I could get it. I noticed the chips inside are larger than the other ones, so it should be able to deal with the current just fine. What I had to do is use my table side jig and kind of tease this into position. Get as good as I can, gently press down and move it around. So I got it on there, and I just have to put it back in the fixture now. Okay, got the board mounted into the fixture. Moment of truth. Alright, crank it all the way up. So it was this LED here. Probably doesn't show on camera, but it's a little cooler in color temperature. But out of all of these, it's not going to make much of a difference. At least it's sharing current with all the other boards. When those two were out, these were taking the brunt of the current, stressing them more. Well, hopefully this thing lasts for a while before the next one goes out, or the driver board fails, because man, does this thing get hot up there on the ceiling. Installed back on the ceiling there, and we're good to go. Alright, well, that will do it for this one. May all of your diodes shine bright, and Happy New Year. And I'll keep these little LED chips for maybe fixing something else or making my own LED light of some sort. That'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching.